What are you wearing, Steve?
I thought you'd never ask.
I'm
What do
curious.
you think?
What is that?
You never saw this. This is the fat suit. This is the infamous
Wow.
fat suit from season 3. As you can see, I'll get to give you a side view here.
But what is written on it?
Well, I signed it.
You signed it to yourself?
Well, no, it's just signed in case I die. They could make a few bucks with it. All right, so yeah, there's no ass. What I do have, I got a big salami. I guess they
can't see it.
So
Yeah,
I have
we can't
a
see it.
But that's it. You've never seen the fat suit.
I've never seen it. You opened the vault, huh?
This is it. I had it in the garage. I said, let me show it to the people out there. This is the famous fat suit that I wore in this episode.
Are you going to wear it for the whole show today?
I may, to see how I feel. I might. Is it distracting you?
No. You might get hot.
If it's distracting you, I'll take it off.
No, it's not distracting me. You might get a little hot.
Yeah, probably. You may get hot.
I may get hot. Just watching.
Hello.
They gave you some breasts too in that suit.
Yeah. And the original one, I had an ass, a big fat ass.
Also. Where is that?
They never used it. It's back in Soprano land somewhere. I never used that one. But this was a great episode. We're doing season 2, episode 4 today.
Commendatori.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I have a correction. People are writing in, and I appreciate it. But someone pointed out I brought up Alexander Hamilton in an earlier episode, and I said he was president of the United States. He was not. He was Secretary of the Treasury, and it was during that time when he invented the $10 bill and put his face on it.
I didn't know that. Did you know that he lived on St. Mark's Place?
I knew that too.
Yeah.
But this is all before he wrote and starred in the one-man show on Broadway, The Hit, which I didn't see, but you saw it, right?
I saw it. It was great. Fantastic.
Did you meet him backstage? Because he's a Jersey guy. He's a big soprano.
I didn't meet anyone. I didn't go backstage. I just had the tickets. It's a fantastic play. If you haven't seen it. You didn't meet
Hamilton. You didn't go see him.
I did not see anyone. When I go to plays, unless I really know them, I don't assume that they're going to know me, honestly.
They do know you. Everybody knows you.
Yeah, but I went to see Fiddler on the Roof with Harvey Fierstein, who I love, and I remember telling you said you should have went back. He would have loved to see you.
I went back with my son. Yeah, he loved the show.
I did not. Nathan Lane, who's a friend of mine, I did go back to see him.
Well, now he's a friend. He wasn't at first.
No, we didn't. We said we had a little beef in the previous.
A little beef with Nathan Lane.
We had a little beef, but we straightened that out, and I did Guys and Dolls with him in Carnegie Hall, which was one of the greatest experiences. Even though at the time I didn't enjoy it, but afterwards I realized how great.
What do you mean you didn't enjoy it?
Well, it was, they called me to do Guys and Dolls. And I said, of course, it's great because it was Nathan Lane, it was Megan Mullally, it's Patrick Wilson. It was all Broadway Tony winners. And I said, man, they're asking me to do this. It was a benefit for Carnegie Hall. And at first I said, yeah, absolutely. My agent said, you should do this. You're with great people. Okay. As we get closer, it sounded great 4 months. Then as we get closer, I'm shitting in my pants, literally. The scariest thing I ever did. And we have 9 days of rehearsals. And I go up to 42nd Street every day, and we rehearse.
You had to sing?
I had to sing with the group, not a solo. And I don't sing. They're asking me what key I'm in. I have no fucking idea what that even means. So it turned out to be I worked my ass off. Nathan was great. Mr. O'Brien, great director, Tony winner. I mean, it was fantastic. Carnegie Hall was packed. We had one dress rehearsal in the day. Then that night, packed to the rafters, all kinds of Broadway producers, and it was fantastic. But I was so scared, I cannot tell you. So scared.
You almost backed out? You wanted to back out of it?
Well, I told my agent, get me a job so I could get out of this, because that was the only way out. And there was no other job, and I did it, and I couldn't have been happier.
But that's a once in a lifetime thing. I mean,
it was great. Great.
Carnegie Hall.
I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm standing there, Carnegie Hall, and great, talented people. I mean, it's so talented with the orchestra. Really, it was just so fantastic. But it took me a while. And even now I talk about it. It's kind of like when we went to Australia. I bitched and moaned the whole time there because of the time zone and working hard.
Traveling. We did a lot of traveling there because it's a
But
huge
now I
country.
appreciate it. I like it a lot more. You know, now I have fond memories and say,
You're
wow.
glad you did it. Yeah.
Absolutely. But, and now, I wanted to talk to you before we get started, talk shows. Now, you've done every talk show like I have, most of them. Do you like doing them? Do you not like doing them? Do you feel comfortable?
Well, you know what I don't like? I'll be honest with you. I don't like that you prepare for it. So you get on the phone with the producer a few days before and you talk about stuff that they're going to bring up. So it's not a spontaneous thing. It's not really a conversation. It's too short. It's not like what we do here where we actually have a conversation about shit. I don't really like it. I think it's kind of, most of them are kind of a shitty format. I'll be honest with you. And fake.
Well, listen, a lot of people don't know out there that you have to do a pre-interview.
Yeah, it's not spontaneous.
No, so a producer calls
for the most part.
You got to do a pre-interview. The host is going to ask you this, and you're going to answer that. And, you tell them a whole bunch of stories, and they weed it out when you get there. He'll ask you this, and you'll say that, blah, blah, blah. So it's a performance for sure. And you see people, and I've done a lot of them. I've done 40 Lenos, of course, most man on the street, but I've done The View and Jimmy Kimmel and blah, blah, blah. But
I like doing Jimmy Kimmel. That was fun. That was kind of spontaneous.
That's good. And Leno was good. I enjoyed Leno. I mean, it wasn't so spontaneous, but it was good. And he was nice. And I did Conan a bunch of times, and he was good. He told stories. So, I mean, those things were good. The thing that you do wrong, I see a lot of people, you tell too long a story or too long a joke.
That's no good.
And if the audience don't laugh, you are in the shitter.
You're dead.
You got to keep the small stories, small things. So if it doesn't get a reaction, it's just a speed bump. You keep on going.
I did one in Portugal once, right? A talk show. And the guy, the interviewer spoke English. So he'd ask me a question in English. I'd answer in English, and then he would translate it to the audience in Portuguese. And they would laugh hysterically. And I wasn't saying anything funny. So I'm looking at him going, what are you telling these people? I had no idea.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They would say, so where do you? I live in New York. I'm married. I have 2 kids. And he'd go, blah, 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 and everyone go, ah! I'm like, I had no idea what he was saying. You're
lucky he didn't say, Michael thinks you all suck.
Maybe.
They would have started booing you.
I don't know what he did. It was horrible.
I did the Today Show. I was a correspondent for them. That's a different, daytime TV is much different than nighttime, obviously. You did Letterman. How was he? I never did Letterman.
Letterman was great with me. I did it twice on my own, and once we did the top 10 list, The Sopranos.
Yeah. I didn't
He was fun. I did my favorite experience was the morning show with, now it's Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest. It used to be Regis.
Yeah.
And I was on, it was my birthday, and Burt Reynolds was the guest, and I had never met him. And we hung out backstage, and he was just the best. He was really sweet and funny. And
Soprano fan?
Oh yeah, he was great. He was hugging me, and we took pictures, and he was funny, and I liked him a lot. Yeah. I liked him a lot.
Well, that's the one thing I like about doing them. You do meet a lot of people that you wouldn't normally meet. Like I did Leno with George Clooney, who's a great guy. I did it with Courtney Cox, who I already knew. I did it with Billy Crystal. A lot of the guests that I've been on, most of them, you see them before or after some great bands. I was on Conan with Fish, and like I say, people that Rihanna, Madonna, people you wouldn't normally see. So that, to me, that's the good part, But make no mistake, it's a performance, and if you fuck up,
it's a show. Yeah.
I work on my stuff. I had big laughs there.
I know.
On the Today Show, and I wind up doing 3 times on the couch and over 40 men on the street things, which I love to death. Steve, the judgmental bastard.
All right.
You've seen those bits, some of them.
Oh yeah, I've seen it in life. not just on the as a bit. Commendatori. This was the last episode shot in the 20th century. So we shot this right before the holiday break, 1999. Right before the millennium, everybody was scared of the Y2K virus that was going to, mess up all the computers. And it was right before the holidays. We shot it in Naples. And it's the least favorite episode of David Chase.
Why is that?
And he says we didn't know what we were talking about. And he felt it just didn't fit in. But we got to go to Naples. It was always a dream of mine to work in Italy. And I found it really fun. It's not it's in the midst of the city, like right in the midtown, like the tourist area and stuff. Right next to it is a blue-collar neighborhood where people have lived, families have lived for generations. It hasn't really been gentrified, or at least to my I was there a year and a half ago. Again, I was there 3 times. And it's a very, authentic, soulful city with great art. It's a beautiful city, great architecture, the best food in the world, and great people. So,
yeah, I've never been. I'd love to go. Now, you didn't have that much to do in this episode, so you had a lot of free time. How long were you there for?
I think I was there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I went over with Vinny Pastore and Tony Sirico. I think Jim was already there, David and Tim Van Patten, who directed this episode. They were there earlier. But weirdly enough, the show was already a hit in America and in Europe, but not in Italy. They did not know the show at all. It wasn't on TV there. They didn't understand the concept of a mobster going to therapy. They were like, that doesn't make any sense. He's a gangster. He would not go to therapy. They had no knowledge of the show. They didn't know us at all. Maybe if I explained Goodfellas and the scene, they might have known it, but they didn't know us from Adam, And
did you stay in that hotel?
Next to it. That was the Excelsior. We stayed in the Vesuvio, which was equally as old and beautiful and incredible, right on the bay of Naples. It was phenomenal. But we went over just the department heads, like the main hair guy, the main prop guy, and we hired a local crew. So we had a lot of local people, Italian crew, as well as actors working on the show there.
And so you're in the hotel, HBO's paying, you fly over first class, HBO's paying for everything, plus you got per diem, so you're just signed to the room, or?
Yeah, we had per diem. We landed, I flew over with Vinny Pastore and Tony Sirico. We landed in Rome, and then somebody picked us up there, and we drove, I guess it's about 2-3 hours to Naples. And it was like that scene when they get out of the car. We got out of the car. There's Naples. I think Vinny might have been there when he was in the army or something, but Sirico had never been there. And we're there looking at the Vesuvio and the volcano, and it's mind blowing. It's very, and that your roots are there, and it's a big experience. And we checked in the hotel, we freshened up, and then we went across the street is the pier. And there's a lot of restaurants there. So Italy's very different with their times. Like they have a big meal in the afternoon, like around 1 and 2. But between like 3 and 6, the restaurants are closed. You can't get anything. It's very hard to get like a full meal. So I think we were around that time. We go over. I know a little bit of Italian, and we go in the restaurant. I talk to the host, and he's trying to explain something to me, and I'm trying to understand what he's saying. And Sirico immediately walks over and goes, "What the fuck's the problem? He's got a problem with us? Does he know we're from America? You got a problem with Americans? What the fuck is the problem here? We want to have lunch." I'm like, "Tony, it's okay." Basically, they were setting up for a private party. They weren't serving lunch, but they wanted us to come back the next day. Sirico was ready to take the guy's head off. He was it wasn't like Paulie Walnuts. Paulie Walnuts being all blissed out. Tony was ready to go toe-to-toe with. He thought they were prejudiced against Americans.
And he had never been there.
He had never been there, but he was really happy to be there. We went to Pompeii on a day off one day, which is the ruined city that got covered by the volcanic ash of Vesuvio. And he loved being there. He had a great time.
Was there anyone there with wings? Any Italians in Naples with wings?
The original wing, where it came from. No, there was no Naples with wings. I didn't.
Nobody in
Naples with wings. No,
there was none of that. What's funny is, I've taken long drives with Tony. It's not easy in the car. He used to smoke. He won't open the window. Doesn't want to mess his hair. He's got the cologne going. He won't let you put the air conditioner on because he's cold. It is tough. That's a tough ride.
Yeah,
and you know me, it couldn't be cold enough. You know,
yeah, you like it.
Remember with me, and you're freezing. 2, episode 4, directed by Tim Van Patten, and written by David Chase himself.
Yeah, and it opens in the Bada Bing in the back room, and they're going to watch The Godfather, the advanced bootleg, whatever, and they can't get it to work.
Well, they have some scenes in there. They have some scenes, they say that, alternate scenes. So there's something special. There's some bonus scenes. They're trying to get it to work. Pussy's back there. Paulie, Christopher, Tony, Silvio. Paulie hits it with a shoe. They can't get it to work. They're frustrated. Pussy keeps asking questions about Junior. Have you seen your uncle? You know, you've been talking to your uncle, blah, blah, blah. So Pussy's kind of, trying to get some information. They're trying to watch the thing. Once again, the middle of the afternoon, guys just sitting around fucking killing time.
Watching TV. But Pussy's also uncomfortable when he says, it was you, Fredo. Because he's talking about betrayal. You know, as soon as he says it was you, Fredo, Pussy changes the subject. He obviously is equating himself with being someone who is betraying the family. They talk about what was your favorite scene, and Tony doesn't want. I can't have this conversation again. And then he says it's Don Cheech back in Italy. Carmela mentions that in season 1 when she tells Father Phil he loves the stuff back in Sicily, and then Tony says he's going. He's about to go.
Yeah, but isn't that? Is that Godfather 2?
Godfather
Vito?
2, yeah.
Which I liked better than Godfather 1, by the way.
But it's not Don Cheech, is it? Is it Don Cheech? Is Don Cheech the guy in Little Italy? Who's the guy in Sicily? Is that Don Cheech?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so. And he's and that's when he stabs him, right?
Who's the guy in Little Italy? That guy, that Don that they kill, that he shoots De Niro shoots him in the hallway with the light bulb.
I don't forget his name. No, Don Fanucci.
That's Don Fanucci, right? Don Cheech is the guy in Italy.
Yeah. The next scene, we're at New York City. It's nighttime. Family is carjacked. It's a family of 4 probably coming from the weekend, and they get carjacked. And of course, it goes. The next scene right after that goes to Tony.
Tony, who's smiling, looking at the car, and it sets up the cut is basically saying Tony's capitalizing and benefiting from the misery of other people.
Absolutely, positively, and they're blaming the 2 black kids. The father's blaming the 2 black kids, but in reality, it's Tony Soprano and his crew hired these kids, obviously, to go around stealing high-end cars, and then they're going to sell them.
And they're selling them to Italy, to the Camorra. The Naples mob is called the Camorra, right? In Calabria, it's Ndrangheta, something like that. Ndrangheta, and Sicily, it's Cosa Nostra, I guess, or whatever.
I have no idea.
But in Naples, it's the Camorra.
So that's the deal. So they're in the doctor's office, the examining room. It's Bacala with Junior. Bacala, once again, reading a newspaper. I had no lines in this. I was on screen for 5 seconds.
Only scene, right? Only
scene in this episode. I flew myself out. It cost me. I think I got paid $1,500. Had to put myself up for a few days, fly myself out, get myself to the studio, and look, that's what you got to do if you want the job. No lines, but I don't want to say I'm not coming out for that. They would have got rid of me. You would have never saw Bacala again. So Tony and Junior talk in the doctor's office, and I wonder, because I never knew this, that they couldn't bug the doctor's office, and I know doctor-client privilege, but how many wise guys after seeing The Sopranos started using this tactic?
Who knows? I mean, the lawyer too, right? Lawyer, client.
Lawyer, absolutely.
That's a lot easier. But yeah, it's a lot more involved to make an appointment, have to go in the office, deal with the receptionist, and all that.
But I'm sure Yeah, I mean, that's something that I was not aware of or never thought about anyway. So he's talking to Junior. He's telling him he's going to go over to the other side. Z Victorio, what's he like? He's a serious man. You know what I mean? Junior also says he's never been. He's never been to Italy. Are you going over there? A little jealous. Never been there. Tony also says, Z Victorio, he's our cousin, right? And he says, you're closer. Tonto's a closer cousin.
Tonto's a cool. That's a little bit of foreshadowing the episode Columbus, when they talk about Iron Eyes Cody, who played these, who I think was Italian or something. A lot of these actors back in the day who played Native Americans, some of them were Italian.
Oh, of course.
And I think that's what I guess he's referring to that. He also mentions Furio. It's the first time Furio's mentioned on the show. And this episode is his first appearance, although it was the second one he shot, Federico Castelluccio. He shot episode 5 first in America, and then we shot Furio stuff in Italy in this episode.
But this episode's the first time you see Furio.
First time we see him.
First time we hear him. He speaks English. He's our man over there. He's talking about the cars, and it's Tony's car business. You know, Tony makes that clear very quickly. You mean my car business?
Took it over.
Tony took it over. All right, it was Soprano kitchen. The family setting the table for dinner. Meadows setting the table. She's saying, why can't we come? It's business. Well, how about Mom? And obviously Carmela's not happy about it. And Tony's squirming. He's backpedaling. It's all business, blah, blah, blah.
He's very pissed off.
Yeah, she's mad. Once again, being passed over. Pussy and Skip Lipari.
That's the Party Box. That was a store that's right next door to the real Bada Bing, Satin Dolls in Lodi, New Jersey. Party Box, we used to use that parking lot. We would park the trailers for the crew and the cast.
So Party Box is a poor man's Party City.
Yeah, Party Box is right next to the Bada Bing, literally, right next door. That's where this scene was shot.
And, Pussy and Skip Lipari, they're talking. Now, Pussy's lying to him. He's not telling him the truth.
He's lying. Yeah.
He's saying it's Ray Curto has the car business, and he's also telling him that Junior and Tony haven't spoken months.
Yeah, and that Christopher's going to get his button. I don't know if that's true or false. I don't know if there was talk about that back then. Who knows?
He's feeding Skip Lipari what he wants to hear, and he said that Junior's last shipment went to Naples a couple of months ago, and it's Junior gave the operation to Ray Curto, which is a lie. And obviously, Junior and Tony have been speaking. So he's feeding Skip false information, lies, and Skip is kind of falling for it. They run into Elvis.
Played by Mike Memphis. His real name is Michael Lepore. He plays Jimmy Bones. He's a mob guy who's an Elvis impersonator.
Does a nice job. Does a really
great
nice
job. And Pussy introduces him to Skip and says, Skip is a friend of ours. Now, we should say what that distinction is. When a mob guy says to another guy that somebody's a friend of ours, that means he's a mob guy.
Yes.
If you say he's a friend of mine, that's code telling your mobster friend he's not in the mob, but he's a friend, but he's not. He's a civilian. So he makes that distinction. He's basically saying Skip is a mob guy from Delaware.
From Dover. And Elvis is asking a lot of questions. Pussy's nervous, very uneasy. A lot of questions. And then even when he says, what are you doing, Puss? The kids are older now. And he says, I'm here shopping for his daughter's 6th birthday.
He's terrified, not just nervous. He thinks the jig is up here.
Yeah, but Skip says, I'm shopping for my daughter, and he says, I'm shopping for a bachelor party. So it's all fucked up. He screwed this up. And then Skip is reassuring him, it's fine, it went fine. It really didn't go fine. I don't think Elvis is that sharp, but I don't think it went fine. Next scene, we're in the restaurant. Carmela, Rosalia Priel, and Angie Bompensero, played by Tony Callum, who wrote a few episodes.
She wrote one episode, All Happy Family, season 5, episode 4. Toni Kelly. She was also in the movie The Wanderers way back, Walter Hill movie, and she wrote and directed the movie Slipping Down Life.
She also is the second wife. Early the first season, we saw Big Pussy had a different wife.
That's right, a different wife.
And this is Toni Kellum, and she's talking, and she's trying to play it off that, when Pussy was away, everything's fine. It was not a problem, blah, blah, blah. Rosalie starts crying. She hears the music. Andrea
Bocelli is we hear it several times. It's
yes.
We heard it in a different episode too, a previous episode. It's Con te partiro, with you I will leave. Time to say goodbye. It's by Andrea Bocelli. We got to see him. Were you at that concert, Liberty State Park, Bocelli? We went backstage. I was with Lorraine and my wife.
No, I met him. I did meet him at a charity event in Vegas, though. I met him there.
It was a great concert.
Yeah, he's really great. But don't you, if you remember, at this time, he was all over the place.
Huge,
he was a huge star, and he's a huge international star, and well-deserved. And this song was a big hit. A big hit at the time. And, Carmela says he's so good-looking. Also, the song, and Angie's crying about Jackie. It brings back memories. And
you mean Rosalie?
Rosalie. And then Angie comes clean. I want a divorce. I don't like him. I have a lump under my arm. I told him I had a lump. He didn't care. He just kind of went, whatever he said, and just went on with his day. So she wants a divorce. She lets it be known right there with the girls. And that's it. She says, benign, malignant, I want a divorce. That's that. We cut to the plane. Flying to Italy.
Yeah. There was a while where they were not sure if we were going to go to Italy. They weren't sure how this episode was going to play out. They were on the fence whether to actually shoot in Italy, do a storyline there, or just keep everything in America. Don't go to Italy. Tony comes back in the airport and we see him get.
Well, I guess it could have easily been. That could have been done.
I'm really glad we did.
Yeah, of course. But, another thing, David Chase doesn't fuck around. Just like, so many times there was a scene that an alleyway in New Jersey, right? It could have easily been shot in an alleyway in New York City.
They wouldn't have shot scenes in the U.S. pretending to be Italy. They were just not going to do anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. David never does that. I mean, it's like he said, New Jersey is like another cast member. He didn't try to trick the audience. Well, this is Jersey, whatever. Either go to Italy or not. The hotel. Am I right? They
get out of the car. They're excited. Chris wants to go to the topless beaches and see Vesuvio, and of course winds up doing none of that on this trip. He doesn't see much at all, but he's really.
Chris has got a suit on. He's wearing a suit, not casual at all, dressing like they dress in Italy, right?
Yeah, Tony, Paulie Walnuts is very excited to be there. I think it really means a lot to him to be in Italy.
Well, he's romanticized about what Italy is. He has a vision in his head, what it is, his grandfather, his grandparents, and we'll see how that turns out later. But that's what he's fantasizing, how great this is.
I'll be honest. I mean, I romanticized it before I ever went there, and Italy has always exceeded my expectations. However much, I think it meets all those expectations. I mean, it's strange because when you go there as an Italian American, a lot seems very familiar, right? The faces, the sounds, the smells, the tastes, hearing the light, you get it, but also, so you feels very familiar, but you're still a foreigner.
Yeah.
The combination of those two things is very strange, but
I never have been. We were going to go, my wife and myself were going to go. The pandemic shut us down. After we left England and Scotland and Dublin, we were going to head to Italy for the first time.
It's a very different experience than going to any other foreign country because your roots are there and that you do find so much culturally familiar. You're still a foreigner,
Was there people that look like me there? You see anybody that kind of look like me?
Especially in Naples. Well, you're Napolitan, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Half Napolitan, half Calabrese. Okay, so Tony and the crew, they meet Furio. They kiss, the double kiss.
The protocol, the kisses and the hugs and this.
Federico Castelluccio does a great job as Furio. Just
And
a
he
great
was
job.
born right close to where we shot. He lived there till he was 4 and then grew up in New Jersey. But let me ask you this. This is because watching this episode, I meet the guy Tano, right? The young guy,
Yeah.
and his track marks are very prominently
Yes.
displayed on his arms. Now,
Yeah.
do you think Furio did some recon and found out about Christopher's drug problem and had this meeting happen on purpose? Christopher sees the tracks to get rid of Christopher so Furio can get closer to Tony.
I guess
Because otherwise it's very I mean, he's meeting the boss from America.
But
from
how
New
would he?
York,
Who
from
would
New
he
Jersey.
find out that Chris is a junkie? How would he?
Who
find
knows? They know people in New York.
Out? Listen, I guess it's possible. I mean, we're going deep there.
We're going
very
deep.
possible.
But I'm saying it's like you're going to meet the New Jersey boss coming over. You know, you're going to have your shirt sleeves rolled up with scabs all over your arm.
Well, are you? Is he really going to take the bait? I mean, we're going deep here. Like I said, that you're actually going to take the
good question.
The bait. I mean, so even if you saw the track marks, you're still going to do that and disappear for days? I guess.
Yes.
I guess. Listen, it's not.
That's exactly what happened.
Not out of the question. So
not out of the question.
The Excelsior is a 1,000-year hotel. It looks like a nice hotel.
I don't think it's 1,000 years.
No. Okay.
But no, I think it was built maybe 200 years ago. But we stayed next door at the Vesuvio, which is just as gorgeous. Those hotels are magnificent. You know?
Yeah.
Being right there in the bay, it's incredible.
Federico originally auditioned for the role of Johnny Sack. He is a great painter. I don't know if people know that. Internationally known painter. Does a real good job. I believe him every second.
Yeah.
Playing Furio, and he speaks perfect English. That's the thing. Absolute perfect English, you know. Soprano Kitchen. Carmela's on the phone. The word is spreading among the wives about Angie's, possible divorce. You know,
it's the first appearance of Maureen Van Zandt playing Gabriella Dante, right?
Is that the first appearance?
I think so, yeah. And I think Carmela is starting to, think about her own feelings about divorce and staying with Tony, not staying with Tony, how this all reflects on her.
This is all the time. But, she's in and she's not in. She's very conflicted and very hypocritical. That's what I find Carmela. I find her to be a very hypocritical character.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, she does. I think she's honest with herself at times too. When she's like, she knows exactly what bargain she's made.
She's made it. Got the big house. She's the suburban housewife.
But she admits
she's cooking and cleaning. Yeah, exactly. To Christianity, the thing, as we'll go on and see. But in the meantime, her husband's out killing and robbing and doing all this stuff so she can have this house.
Yes.
Yes, she does. Tony meets the Italian crew for dinner.
Now, I believe this restaurant was not shot in Italy. If my memory serves me, they built that in Silver Cup and flew those actors over for this scene. I do not think that was shot in Italy.
Well, that must have been expensive.
Yeah, but you
had to fly all those actors over and
put them up. Chris is late, very late. He doesn't even make it.
As always,
the guy Vittorio Duzza, he plays the Don here in this scene, Don Vittorio. He worked with Visconti on The Leopard and Ossessione. He was also in Godfather 3 as Don Tomasino, and a really great Italian film called Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion, directed by Elio Petri. If you ever get a chance to see that movie, fantastic.
Good. And Sophia Milos, she's been in a whole bunch of stuff. She plays Annalisa, plays his daughter, and basically the woman mob boss.
And apparently that's based on something true, that in Italy there were women who had to run the family because the husbands and brothers, relatives were either dead or in jail, because the judges in Rome put away a lot of mafia people. And
so there's a lot of women mob bosses.
Yeah, and we'll go into that later, how they command respect.
Furio does the translating. I guess, Tony, who's not sure if Z. Victorio, he asked Furio earlier, will we see Z Victoria there? He says he's probably not going to come. And I believe that Tony's disappointed when he does meet him. I mean, he's kind of out of it, right?
He's really
Boulevard.
Well, I think Tony's disappointed that he's not going to first he thinks he's not going to show up, and I think he feels disrespected, and the other guy who's there, the other mob guys, does is kind of
Nino has an attitude.
He has an attitude,
trying to keep the peace. Tony's very snippy. He's not backing down. He's got some balls here. He's in a foreign country. Once again, Paulie interrupts him. Have you tasted the octopus?
He's like, you're like a child. What's the matter with you with the food and the pussy? It's hilarious. And then he says, my brothers were here. My other brother, the doctor, with all his bullshit, which I don't know what he's referring to, but it's he's saying this is a big deal for me to be there. And
Nino takes offense. Furio doesn't exactly translate to Tony what Nino says. It's a great scene. The Italian actors are great. Tony tells them how much it's going to cost and that his uncle used to sell the cars mostly to the Russians in Brooklyn, who they made all the money. Now he's giving them a chance. He says $90,000 a car. Okay, it's made in the U.S. We go to the hotel room. Christopher and Tano do drugs, and they're whacked out. Is that the first time we see Christopher shooting up?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been discussed that he snorted it, but that's the first time I think he's shooting it.
Yeah. Tony, we're back to the restaurant, right? Tony talks to Fury about business, and Paulie's complaining about his food, which he does in real life every time you go out to dinner with Tony.
Well, he was a little bit thrown by the pasta in Naples because they serve the pasta al dente, in Italy.
He likes it mushy.
He goes, this is too al dente. He was thrown by that. He didn't like that.
I've been with him where he's turned it, the macaroni back 3, 4, 5 times. Mushy. And it's not macaroni, it's macaronis.
Macaronis, yeah.
Macaronis. So they certainly got this from real life. He wants macaroni, spaghetti, and gravy. The guys make fun of him. They said the Germans are classless, and the two guys are making fun of him. Tony's disappointed. Paulie's disappointed.
And then Don Vittorio shows up, and he's, I guess, got dementia or something. He's reciting streets. First he says, Wheelchair Boulevard, and Tony thinks he's saying something's wrong with his wheelchair. That's based on somebody David met from Italy who was saying stuff. Wheelchair Boulevard, Zonzetta Boulevard, Santa Monica. He was talking about the Los Angeles, but
Wilshire Boulevard, the Major Deacon Expressway, which is in the Bronx. Tony lights Annalise's cigarette. She touches his hand. It begins. He's looking at her. He likes what he sees. There's a little flirtation going on, almost right from the start. Paulie got to go to the bathroom. He's not going to the bathroom in that restaurant.
Well, I'll tell you what. I never saw a dirty bathroom in Italy, man. The most humble, low-key restaurant. You go in the bathroom, you could eat in the fucking bathroom. It's so clean there.
Well, this was filthy. And first of all,
that was inaccurate. I didn't buy that.
Knowing Tony Sirico, there's not a chance on earth he would go and take a dump in a restaurant bathroom. Not in a million years.
I guess not.
We traveled together, all of us, for years. Foxwoods, Atlantic City, the Peninsula Hotel. Okay, so Tony's
one of the best hotels in the world in LA, absolutely. In Beverly Hills.
So we go, we're together. I go into my room, he goes into his room. I got to go to the bathroom bad. I got to take a dump. We just got off the plane. Boom. He knocks on my door. I finished. He knocks on the door. I said, Tony, come back 10 minutes. Come back, Tony. What it is, he wants to see what my room looks like. Of course, you know what I used to do. I used to, he was in earshot of me, I would say, I got the biggest fucking 2-bedroom suite. I got a butler. You won't believe the room I have. I got a penthouse. If I did it once, I did it 50 times to him. He believed me every time. And so he was knocking on my door to see what my room looked like. I'm telling you. I said, Tony, not now. I just came out of the bathroom. He's insisting. I opened the door. Holy shit. What the hell'd you doing here? I said, listen, this is my room, man. It's my room. I told you not to come in. So there's no way Tony Sirico is going to the bathroom in a restaurant. Not happening.
I guess not. He has a great line when he says, he's referring to Don Vittorio, who he sees has some kind of dementia. He says, you give this guy a golf club. This Tony wants to bring him a golf club. Give this guy a golf club, he'll probably try to fuck it, which is a very weird line that only Paulie Walnuts could really deliver, I think.
Tony and Azelisa, they walk and talk, right, on the street in Italy. She says, come to the house tomorrow, stay a while. Paulie interrupts again. He says, I gotta go take a dump. There's firecrackers. It's a kid. They start smacking the kid around. You see how mean Fiorio could be in this scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not screwing around. He's smacking
Tony
the kid.
Sees that. Tony sees the violence. Sees how protective they are, how
Absolutely.
they don't play any games. We were shooting a scene in a little square and in Naples. There was a guy on the crew that they hired from the neighborhood. You know, we shot like the cafe where Tony sees the other guys. It's the historical center in Naples near this street called Napoli. It's a very working class, very poor neighborhood. Laundry hanging out the window and all that. We're shooting in the square. David Chase is there. And at some point, David Chase realizes he's been pickpocketed. His wallet's missing. So we hired this guy to do props from the neighborhood who was like the fixer. He knew where to get it. If you needed anything, whatever you needed, he was the guy to go to. He was hooked up with everybody. He says to David, I'll be right back. I'll get it. 10 minutes later, he shows up with this junkie-looking guy. He smacks him across, literally like this, in the face, takes the wallet and hands it to David. Then kicks the guy in the ass, and the guy runs off. And David's like, thank you so much. And to this day, I'm not really sure if that was all an act and that he got this guy to pick the pocket and do it because he wanted to come to America and work on the show.
So you think it was a setup?
I don't know, but that actually happened. It looked like theater. It was hilarious.
Wow. That's a great story. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's true. But we do see at the end of this scene, Tony seeing Fury,
yes,
seeing the dedication and loyalty.
And, they're very protective. Tony's thinking that could be me. Right. They're very protective of Z Vittorio. And you see what Fiorio can do. That I can tell you. It's a really good moment. Next scene, Tony calls Carmela. Tony's in his hotel room. How's Italy? It's one of those bland. She's still pissed off she's not there. He says it's pretty great, but then plays it down when he sees she's annoyed. He kind of downplays it. What are you cooking for? Why don't you just go order Chinese food? She snaps at him. I don't need your permission to get Chinese food. It's one of those bad phone calls that shouldn't have taken place. All right.
Yeah, nobody wins in that situation. I mean,
the next scene, Tony's sleeping and he's having a dream of him banging Annalisa, and they're wearing he's wearing a Roman soldier outfit, and she has whatever she has.
He's wearing a gladiator outfit from Game of Thrones.
Is that what it is? That's honestly what I thought it was. I was going to say that, but I thought
no, it's not. It's a gladiator outfit, but it's not from Game of Thrones. Was not a gladiator show, but he is. You thought it was at one time.
I still think it is because I have no idea what it is.
No, it's not a gladiator show, but he was. Okay. Tony was dressed as a gladiator. You are right. And now we cut to Pussy having a dream, where he wants to stuff a rutabaga in Jimmy Bones, the Elvis guy's mouth. I'll shove a turnip in there.
And what do you think that's about? What's the turnip represent? Anything?
I guess it means death under the earth because they're root vegetables that grow under the earth. I don't know. Right?
That's a good one for me. I wanted to ask you. I have no idea. I'll wife, say, yeah. Angie Bombensero wakes up Pussy from the nightmare. Hotel room, Christopher and Paulie. Christopher obviously is very hungover. He blames it on the shrimp. And Paulie says, this is no way to get made. So Pussy wasn't lying.
Oh, right. That's right. You're right.
All right. And Chris obviously has a drug hangover. And I wonder if Paulie's looking at him half cocked. I wonder if he kind of knows. He's not saying nothing. I'm not quite sure about that.
It doesn't seem so. Yeah.
No. Tony's driving Annalise's house. She sends a car.
And that's the song Core Ingrato, The Ungrateful Heart, which Junior sings at the end of season 3.
Yes.
You know that scene?
I was in that scene. Absolutely.
It's a beautiful drive in the hills above Naples. And then it's a very country, it's like Tony is thinking about the old world, but then he sees this very modern house that she lives in.
But a beautiful, huge estate, beautiful big house. But
it's not Don Cheech's house.
No. Tony showed to his room. He tips the guy. The guy doesn't. Say thank you.
But takes the money.
Takes the money. Tony's looking off the balcony. He sees Annalisa getting a manicure in Chase Lounge. She's wearing a bikini. She's eating grapes. He's eating a pear. He likes what he sees. Tells the girl to collect the toenails.
So there's superstition, magic, and then later on they go see the cave where the Sibyl, the oracle, used to be thousands of years ago in ancient Roman times. So it's a connection to this, references to this old world, old ways of thinking, and contrasting with the modern life. It's very cool. I guess they do believe in that stuff, though. That's not a joke.
No, I'm sure it isn't. So the Soprano house, Janice arrives. Now, there's something that I noticed. When it could be a mistake, Tony, when he went into the doctor's office, he didn't close the door. The door was open when he was talking to Junior. Janice walks into the Soprano house here, the door is open. Then later on, when Pussy goes over to Elvis's house, the door is open. I don't know if it means anything.
It could be a sound thing because they didn't want to slam the door and make a loud noise.
Janice arrives. The door's open. Once again, Bocelli's on. Carmela tells her Angie Bonpacero's married to Sal. They're thinking of divorce. Janice says, Italy's no big deal. I've been there a lot of times. I don't believe she's ever been there.
You think she's full of shit?
I think she's full of it. Where did she go to Italy? She's been broke. Yeah, she's been gone for 20 years. Where'd she go to Italy? I don't believe that. She's just trying to make her kind of feel okay. It's no big deal. You're not missing nothing. Blah, blah, blah.
Sexual harassment. They wouldn't leave her alone.
Well, they didn't bother her friend. They didn't bother her friend, but they bothered her. The hooting.
Hooting and right, and whistling and stuff. And she talks about the macho culture and the mob wives and that they're mama's boys. They're emotionally crippled. The Madonna whore complex, and this is all a judgment on Carmela, really.
Oh, absolutely, and she does admit it because first she's talking about Pussy and Angie in general because she doesn't really know them, and Carmela says marriage is a holy sacrament.
Right.
Once again,
well, I think in some ways she believes that. But what's interesting?
Can you believe both, Michael? I mean, can you be so religious but yet be a part of this?
I guess so. On some level, yeah. I mean, that's why I wrote the script that we'll do later in this season. That was what I was exploring. It's like even with the guys, because they all believe in Jesus and God and heaven and hell. Well, how do you deal with that doing what they do?
I understand.
Yeah, it's a paradox. This is a great scene though between. The acting between Aida and Edie, I thought was just brilliant. And when Edie calls her in the comments, like, "What? You're with Richie Aprile. You're one to talk about, macho culture." And she's like, "Oh, he's very evolved. He's evolved his attitudes about women because of his prison experience." And Edie's laugh is priceless.
Yeah,
it's so real and so honest, and just it's a great scene.
Richie understands the plight of women. Carmela laughs. Janice says she's glad Pussy's getting a divorce, and Carmela says, "Are you talking about us?" And she kind of basically says, "Yes, I am." But after she laughs and walks away, Janice's words hit home with her.
Oh yeah. It hits home, and then when you cut to the estate with Annalisa. Here you have a woman who's in control of a family, who's not just relegated to the duties of a housewife. She's actually in a position of power, and she's a mother, and she's taking care of her elderly father.
Yeah.
It's a interesting dichotomy there.
And Janice says you're an intelligent woman. She tells her that you're an intelligent woman, but you're kind of controlled and you're relegated to, cooking and cleaning. And
a housewife. Yeah.
That's it. Annalisa hits golf balls. They talk business. Tony says, she says, it's a man's club. He says, I'll buy you a whole set of clubs. He's got the cigar. I can't believe a woman boss. It never happens. She says she explains what you said earlier. All her brothers were murdered. She kind of had no choice.
It says that men love their mothers, so there is a thing they can respect a woman in this position. It's not like in America, it would never fly. It's a different attitude, different mentality.
Tony says, I want to be introduced to the boss. She said, what can I do for you? You could talk to me. He's admiring her from behind, obviously, the entire time. He is very smitten with her, not only her looks, I think also her power.
Yeah, she's got a lot of charisma.
And Sophia Mills, who's done a bunch of stuff. I think she was on
CSI Miami
CSI Miami. She's done a lot of work, a real lot of work.
She was born in Switzerland to her father's Greek and mother was Italian, and she lived in Rome for a lot of her youth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. She's a Scientologist,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, not that it's here nor there. I'm just throwing it out there. You know me.
You escaped from it, right?
I tell you, I have a Scientology story. People think I'm full of shit here. I got a call from my agent. I'm going back 10 years. The Sopranos was just ending. It's even longer. Got to call the agent, $2,500 to do this little voice thing, 1 hour's work. Said, okay. I go to Midtown recording studio, and there's 3 guys there. And it's for an L. Ron Hubbard book. Okay? And it's one of his novels that he had written. I said, okay, what the hell? It's work, it's a job, it's a job. I go in there, big Soprano fan, we love the ending, blah, blah, blah. Go to the bathroom. I said, which way is the bathroom? It's one of those old buildings. He said, the guy says, I'll walk with you. So I go to the guy who seemed like a really cool guy. I went, hey, are those guys Scientologists? And he goes, they're not, but I am. Check, please. So I go back, I read the thing, and it's fine. Everybody's fantastic. Then they want me to go downstairs and like a little press thing, electronic press. Guy interviews me, and I'm fucking around with him. I said, are you trying to recruit me as a Scientologist? Is that what you're trying to do? You got no guineas? No fat Italian guys? And I'm joking with him. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. I never saw the book. I never saw the recording. I wonder.
They paid you, though.
They paid me.
They paid you.
Never saw it, never heard about it again. I wonder if it was a ploy to get me in there. And
it didn't work. I worked, after 9/11, the day after, I was working with the Red Cross out of Stuyvesant High School. We were loading and unloading trucks to bring down to the workers on the site. A busload of Scientologists came from the center, I guess, in Midtown, all wearing yellow shirts, mostly young people. And they were the best workers, smiling, happy. They work for hours and hours. Young women, small, carrying heavy loads, and they were wonderful. They really did a good job, I have to say.
Obviously, it works for them. Scientology works for them.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know either. It works for them. It's not my thing. A lot of things ain't my thing, as you know.
The restaurant, Tony and Annalisa, that restaurant, we went the day before. We went there for lunch. Jim, Gandolfini, me, and Sirico. The guy who owned it invited us. And he was there. He was the owner. He was a chef. He was there with his son. The place was closed. So just the 3 of us. Beautiful guy, it's right on the water there on the Bay of Naples. And one of the famous dishes in Naples is linguine with clams. They have those little tiny razor clams, I guess. They're small, that are right from the water
cockles.
there. No, they're not cockles. They're clams. They're small.
Razor clams are long.
They're not razor clams.
Okay.
Whatever they are, they're really small little clams. They're great. But that's the famous dish there. So we all order it. And Jim says to the owner, the guy brings it over, and we're sitting there, and Jim says, "Oh, can I have some cheese?" And the guy went, "No." And Jim's like, "No, I want some cheese for the." Jim thinks the guy's joking. The guy's like, "No." Jim's like, "Oh, I want to put cheese on my pasta." He thinks the guy doesn't understand. The guy says,
"There's a thing with the dairy."
Not give him the cheese.
And listen, I love cheese on my linguine and clams. I'm with them.
They don't do it over there.
No, but there's, there's that something with the dairy, with the fish, with the Italians. Even restaurants here won't give it to you.
Jim was shocked. He didn't get the cheese though.
That's a good dish, though.
Over there, yeah, it's
good dish.
Incredible.
So Tony's watching her eat shrimp. He asks her about the toenails, the clippings, and she says, your enemy could give you basically the evil, the maloika. If they have your hair, a clipping of your hair or your toenails. That's why she collects it. Tony asks her, Paulie's having coffee.
And he's loving being there. He's having a great time. He feels a kinship to being there and to the people there. And he says the word that he heard before, commendatori, a thing of respect, and nobody gives a shit.
And they're going like, the guy's doing his hands like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Right. They're not very friendly. So far, Paulie's not doing so great here. Right. It's an underwhelming trip so far.
But he's not deterred. No, he's still having a great time.
But he does mutter under his breath, cocksuckers. So he's starting.
Because they disrespect him. And that, of course, is David Chase sitting there. Yeah. The one who turns his back on him is David Chase. Smoking a cigarette and having coffee.
Now, the beach, Tony and Annalisa walk along the shore. He explains there's a lot of guys in America. 1 out of every 5 are rats now. He wants Naples guys. And she's saying, how much? He's saying it's only going to help your business. She's trying to bullshit her. Kind of maybe because she's a woman, he thinks she's not that smart. It'll grow your business. She's saying, what are you talking about? You're giving me, numbers out of the clear blue sky. She says, fuck you. He says, up your ass. He walks away.
Well, he also realizes that if he gets these guys, they're not rats over there in Italy, or at least that's how Tony perceives them, and that if he brings them to America, they have no ties in America. They don't have family. They don't have wives. Exactly what is happening to Pussy. He's under the thumb. He's worried about his kids. He's worried about his wife and stuff like that. And that's how they got to him. So Tony is really, thinking clearly about this.
And he says, go talk to your husband. She said he's never coming out. He still doesn't believe that she is the boss, or doesn't want to believe. Yeah. It's not going past her. Angie unpacks the groceries. The next scene, we're at Pussy's house. She drops the eggs. Pussy walks in. They can't find this belt. She says she's happy. I just came back from the doctor's office. Biopsy was negative. Okay, great. No emotion. She's upset naturally. No emotion whatsoever. I mean, he comes off like a prick, but he could give. It certainly looks like he doesn't care 2 shits about Angie Montpensero. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. He's being very cold and uncaring.
Christopher lies in bed with a woman. He's whacked out, stoned out.
Well, that's that establishing shot of that beautiful church. That's the Church of San Francesco de Paolo. That's the main square in Naples, the Piazza Plebiscito. It's the beautiful church, and it's the main square of the town. That church was started by the king of Naples, King Joachim, who was the brother-in-law of Napoleon. It was started in Napoleon's honor, but I don't think the king finished it himself. I think the next king. Because Naples was, before Italy was a country, Naples was its own kingdom, basically.
The church is beautiful.
Yes, it is. Very beautiful.
And you didn't have much work at all, so you didn't have any lines to learn.
I didn't have lines, and I was wandering around Naples. It was fantastic.
You got that was a great gift.
It was a gift, yes. But Chris doesn't see that. Chris didn't get to see that church, nor did he get to see the volcano because he's busy doing drugs in the hotel room again, where we see him. Yeah, it was that was his vacation.
Yeah. Pussy visits Jimmy Bones. He goes to his house. Pussy kills Jimmy with a hammer. The door's left open.
Great fall by Mike Memphis.
Yes, it is.
His fall was very believable and really.
He does a nice job, a really nice job.
Yeah, it's a great performance. Yeah.
He kills him with a hammer. He's got a few Elvis statues around. He's not taking any chances. Pussy's not taking any chances. He goes there to kill him. The blood splatters on a picture of Colonel Parker, who was Elvis's longtime manager.
And a lot of people
forever took 50% of Elvis's earnings forever. 50%. All the way till his death. He controlled him completely. Obviously, couldn't control the drugs.
Who died first?
Elvis.
Really?
Oh, Elvis, absolutely. You know, I used to hire Elvis. I had an Elvis impersonator who told me that he also was a Roy Orbison. He had different wigs. He used to do both. That's like interchangeable. Elvis, Roy Orbison. I could see it, right? Yeah. In Vegas, there's a ton of Elvis impersonators.
Oh, of course.
You know, there's a ton. They had one, the Fat Elvis, a good guy. I forget his name. I knew him well. I used to hire him. He had to be 500 pounds. Fat Elvis.
Oh, Elvis was up there at the end.
Yeah, not 500 pounds, but then
not 500. No.
They got midget Elvises. You know, they got all kinds of Elvises. All different. They got female Elvises. You know, when they have the Elvis convention, all shapes, sizes, everything.
That would be worth going to.
Tony's room. He's packing. Furio comes in. The boss wants to eat in an hour. What's it like to work for a boss? Tony says, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Well, what's interesting here is, and this is something that I saw in Italy, they just had a big fight. Now she's inviting him to dinner. It's like, you know, I'll give you the example. The last night I was there, I was with Federico and a couple other people. We got the name of a bar somewhere. We were going to take a cab to go to this bar. So I'm negotiating I'm drunk, first of all, and I'm negotiating with a cab driver.
You.
So I'm saying, this is where we're going, and he gives me a price, and I'm convinced he's robbing us. And I get talking in Italian. They don't speak English there. And I'm saying, you're a thief. You're a thief. This guy was born here. I'm talking about Federico. I said, he's not a tourist. He was born here, and you're robbing us. And then he starts cursing. The cab driver starts cursing at me, yelling and screaming. Finally, somehow, we came to an agreement on a price. He gets in. We get in the cab. He goes, okay, where are we going? He stayed with us all night. He was like our best friend. We went out. He came in the place with us. He was ordering food with us. It was like the fight never happened.
Was he trying to rob you?
No, I was just out of my mind. But what I'm saying is, you know, this argument that to an observer would seem like we were about to kill each other. 2 seconds later, we're best friends. This played a little bit here in this scene. Jay had a really bad fight, you know, up your ass. You know, that was it. In America, you'd think they're not going to ever talk again. Yeah. And now she's there in the garden getting the tomatoes like Apollonia from The Godfather, and she wants him to come to dinner. And it's like the fight never happened.
They don't hold grudges in Italy.
I'm sure they do to a point, but there's room to express yourself in disagreement is what I'm saying. And I saw that firsthand over there.
Because I hold grudges. You know that.
I saw one first time I went to Rome, right? These two guys are fighting in an alley. It was a moped and a car. They had like a fender bender, or one cut the other one off. The two guys are screaming in each other's face. They weren't coming to blows, but it looked like they were close. And there was a carabinieri, a cop dressed, he looked like a GQ model, 6'2", perfectly groomed, wearing this like uniform. He's standing about 50 feet away. He blows the whistle. The guys turn around and look at him, and he just goes like this. He doesn't say anything, and the guys just and they just go off on their way. I mean, it's a different way of
it just looks like what the fuck
expressing themselves.
Pussy comes home. We're at Pussy's house. He brings roses to Angie. She hits him. She doesn't even say anything. She hits them with him. But you know, now that you go back, when she dropped the eggs and he says, "Where's my belt?" Pussy also had on his mind he was going to kill someone.
He's going to kill someone. He's working with the feds.
He was just going to murder. It's like, "Where's my belt, honey?" He just was going to murder someone. He murdered Elvis, stopped and bought flowers, and then came home.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Yeah.
Annalisa Yard. Tony and Annalisa drink, what are they drinking, bitters?
They drink Amaro bitters. Italians are kind of obsessed with good digestion. In terms of how they combine food, and especially with after dinner stuff, there's hundreds of these different Amaros. There's Averna and Ramazzotti and Fernet. Those are the popular ones, but there's every region, every town has their own mixtures, and it's all for you have after a meal, sometimes before, but just to help digestion. And they're kind of obsessed with good digestion over there.
So
but
they toast.
Tony kind of makes his move here.
Oh, yeah. Tony's.
And I think she knows she's got him at this point, because she doesn't follow through. She doesn't say, "Meet me in my bedroom tonight or I'll come see you." But she knows she's got him on the hook here.
Oh, sure. Well, listen,
that's how I got it.
He touches her leg. He made a move. And he even
knows
says
that this is going to work for her. Right. Good night. He likes her dedication to the father. He likes the fact that they have the old house. The father grew up in next to the big palace that they bought. You have the old world and the new world side by side again. He loves that. There's something special to him here.
Well, he also like she takes care of her father, like he takes care of Junior.
Right.
Her son comes in, they leave. He says, "All right, well, I guess good night." So he made his move. It was very clear. It wasn't very subtle. He made his move.
No. And now you're cutting from Tony making a gesture of infidelity to Carmela, who's basically talking about divorce and, facing her own ideas about marriage, her own, ideas about herself and the position she's in. She says to Angie, "You got to ask yourself these questions." But in the end, I know you're not going to leave him. Is Carmela talking about herself?
Oh, of course she is. Absolutely. But I also have a little theory here. What the church says about divorce, she says, and what about the kids? And I think, in a way, she thinks if Angie divorces Pussy, maybe she's going to snitch on him. And the whole thing comes tumbling down.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Does Angie, divorce Pussy, and then she knows something. She may not know everything, but she knows some stuff. And that's why I think Carmela's kind of protecting the whole thing. And she is thinking about herself, because basically she is Angie. It's one and the same. Tony does what he wants. He's got a Gumata, comes and goes. He's not around. He's around when it's convenient, blah, 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 blah. Like, most of these mob wives, right? You live in the big house and he runs around, does what he wants, including going to Italy without her, right? They're on the waterfront. Paulie's walking. He's once again trying to enjoy Naples. He's wearing a jogging suit. They don't wear jogging suits there, do they?
I think they do. Yeah,
they do.
Some of them do. I think it looks like he's really enjoying himself, though, Paulie.
I think he's trying. He's trying. He's trying.
It's beautiful.
He's trying to get out there. Walking by is our good friend Angela Tarantino, one of the vice presidents of publicity. She's an extra. She walks by Paulie in this scene.
Yeah, she came down and visited while we were there.
She talks to this guy. He says, "Buongiorno, I'm from America, and are you with NATO? You cut our ski lift cable."
Yeah, he's referring to an accident that happened the year before we shot that, where a Marine plane working with NATO flew too low and cut some ski lift cable, and 20 people died in the north of Italy in a town called Cavallese.
And so Paulie's trying to learn the culture. He's on his own. He's in a hotel room. Paulie lies in bed. A hooker is cleaning up in the bathroom.
And he sprays her mouth with Binaca, which Tony did in real life with people.
Does it all the time. He did it to
All the
me.
time.
Has he ever done it to you?
He did it to me. He also carried a little bottle of cologne. If he didn't like how you smelled, he'd
slap
put
you in the
cologne
face.
on you. Yeah, your face.
Get the stink off. Hey, come here. Get that stink off. Get that stink off.
He's very sensitive to smells.
I remember the one time we were at the roof of the peninsula. There was about 5 of us, and Johnny V was up there, and Tony was holding court, and pina coladas on the pool. He likes pina coladas. Reminds him of the 70s. And he gets close, and it's me, Nicky Sandow, another friend of mine. Tony's about to tell us something. We all lean in like this great thing. And he tells Johnny, Dad, cut that hair under your arms. Come on, cut that fucking hair. He was wearing a Guinea T-shirt.
He said, cut the hair. It looks like 2 cunts. That's what he said.
Yeah. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
That's what he said. It looks like 2 cunts. So
we thought we were going to get these incredible words of wisdom from the great Tony, and that's what he told us. And boy, I like we've said before, a lot of laughs with Tony Sirico. The hook is cleaning up. He's got a big basket of fruit. He wants, now this is where he really romanticizes.
But he's having a great time.
I don't know.
Smiling. He's smiling. He's enjoying. Come here, my Fragaline. He calls her his little strawberry.
Her. She's smoking. She's scratching her dirty foot.
Even when she scratches her foot, he's smiling. He's really
she could care less what he says.
He could care less, but he doesn't care. He says, well, my family's from the same town as you. It's probably some little crappy town. She doesn't give a shit about it. She probably left there to be in the big city. She doesn't care, but it's not really... It doesn't seem like it's bothering him.
She wants to leave. He says the custom is always right. I don't know. To me, it's like, but you may be right. Maybe he doesn't notice it. You know.
I don't think he cares. I think it's just he's just enjoying. It seems like he's enjoying every minute being there.
He loves the fruit, no steroids. He says so. How do you say steroids? But they walk the walkway along the mountainside. Tony and Elisa walk along the path.
Now that was beautiful. I was there the day they shot that. I went up that's the cave of the Sibyl of Cumae, which was a Greek colony. Cumae was before the Romans. She explains that in the scene. But there was this oracle, the psychic, who would be in the cave, and the emperors even would consult the oracle. And she'd sit in. There were volcanic gases at the time, I think, that would put them into some kind of hallucinations and trances, and they would be consulted by people in power for many, many years. And it's an incredible sight. It's up there, way up on the mountain, overlooking all of Naples and the bay and Capri in the distance.
Wow.
And the volcano. Huh? It's incredible. Yeah. And it's been there for, there's been people, I guess the oracle was there 4,000 years ago. So it's the sense of history there is incredible.
She makes a comment to Tony, and he says, right now you remind me of someone back home. Not your wife, your girlfriend? Is he talking about Melfi?
He's talking about Melfi, and it's interesting because we're in this place where we have a female mob boss, and Melfi's someone where he uncovers secrets, which is what this oracle did as well. So there's great metaphors and stuff that are going on here in this scene. And yeah, he's talking about Melfi. It's another, unrequited, thing that it is kind of, she kind of propositions him here.
Absolutely. Positively. She says it. He says, I don't shit where I eat. She doesn't quite understand. He explains to her.
Yeah, but he would have the night before, probably.
Oh, he absolutely would have. He tried to.
But now he doesn't want to.
I don't know why. He might
have been a little buzzed, and it was dark. It was night.
I don't think he's turned down many. Tony Soprano hasn't turned down many women in the course of the series, I don't think. But she says, "You don't want to fuck me. You don't want to fuck her. Do you want to fuck me?" He says, "I don't shit where I eat." They make the deal with Furio. She gets him down to 75,000 in Furio, and there'll be more to come. I
think she plays him and got the better of him here.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole thing, right?
Absolutely.
From the beginning,
Positive.
she knew she could work him and get him, and she did.
Absolutely, positively. Then the airport, Pussy's picking up Tony, Paulie, Christopher, Paulie's bragging, you got to get there, blah, 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 blah. You got to get there. It's a great time. Tony says, I got a really good, he says, I got a really good deal. I got a really good deal.
He's lying.
I think he's lying. Though Junior wasn't giving them much, but it went from 90 to 75.
Plus, he gets Furio.
I think he's just saying that. Tony seems upset when he gets back.
He's depressed.
And they're also, you also see the shots of Jersey. You just saw these beautiful shots of Naples. Now you're seeing Newark.
Yeah. I think there's something in the life over there that he envied, seeing her, living in this house. The old house was there. The family's kind of together. It's this romanticized version of, I guess, the mob and being Italian. And he kind of feels his own life pales in comparison.
He's got, he said he got double for the cause, and they're quiet. They're quiet. Christopher was late again. He was shopping in the duty-free for Adriana because he was high the whole time. And now Pussy said something, I don't know if you looked it up. I didn't. 8 great tomatoes in an itty-bitty can.
It's an old Contadina commercial.
Is that what it is? I knew it was something. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
8 great tomatoes in an itty-bitty can. The Soprano house. Tony comes home. Carmela's folded laundry. Once again, the song by Andrea Bocelli. And Tony walks in with the bags of gifts and says, I'm home, just like Pussy did when he came home.
And Carmela looks like she's not that happy. Also, we cut from, when he's talking about dealing with this boss, and we see Carmela folding laundry. Again, this image of her relegated to a housewife, as contrasted with this other woman who was getting her, nails done and at the house and is in a position of power.
Was in control and power.
And she doesn't look happy that he's home. Yeah.
No. And it is a mirror of Angie when she described when Pussy came home. I don't want to be married to him. I want to be divorced. Carmela, once again, is conflicted. But like you say, basically the whole series, she's conflicted.
She's the whole series. I mean, David Chase said it's his least favorite. I like the episode. I mean, I'm.
Oh yeah, there's no.
I look back. Episodes. I had a lot of great memories. The next morning, the night I had the fight with the cab driver. Right, that was my last night in Naples, and I had a flight from Naples. Instead of driving back to Rome, I was going to fly from Naples to Rome and then Rome to New York. And I had a morning flight, and I was very drunk the night before and overslept really badly, to the point when I was no way I thought I could make this flight. I think maybe I had an hour from waking up till the time the plane was about to leave. There was no time to get, and I wasn't packed. I was, in bed. This guy picked me up, the driver that they hired. He drove. And I'm like hungover, feeling horrible. He drove on the fucking sidewalk. The guy drove like he was in, the Grand Prix or something, through the streets, these little tiny streets, beeping the horn, up on literally on the sidewalk. He goes, I'll get you there. Don't worry. I'm like, we're not going to get there. It's too late. He goes, no. He got me there. And I made it on the plane and got back, got on my flight.
Oh, you slept the whole way.
Oh, it was horrible.
I saw, you got into a beef with a driver in Nashville also, among other places.
That guy, he was a bad guy, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, whatever. I see you have some beefs. You and the drivers, you have a little thing there.
Well, you never have beefs. Right?
I can't imagine, though. There's nothing worse than having to get up to catch a plane, get on the plane. You only got a few hours sleep. You feel it's just. I never want to feel that ever again, man. That's terrible.
It's not pleasant.
And I've done it way too many times. That's why I don't have a flight until 1, 2 o'clock in the evening.
You're much better off. Great episode. I love it.
It was a great episode. Yeah. You had a great time. You didn't have much to do.
Lots to do was great. Now, the winner of our Ask Me Anything Best question of the week is Wayne from Kyle, Texas. And we will send Wayne a pair of these Bose headphones.
So Wayne asks, gentlemen, I apologize in advance if this question has been asked. I am 45 years old, and many of us think of working our career path, hoping to reach 63, 65, etc., and retire. Enjoy the fact that we have worked hard. We're fortunate enough to save some money and attempt to relax a little in our later years. As actors, you guys have the ability to continue to work well beyond the normal retirement age. Have you thought about your life that far out? Do you have a mental stopping point, or would you choose to work until you just can't do it anymore? Thank you guys for your hard work and for providing endless hours of entertainment for us. So, what do you think about you? I mean,
me? I want to die on the set or on the stage or something, man, because I have no hobbies. Work is my hobby. I have to stay creative, and I hope to be, as long as I can remember my lines, I want to work till I can't, because I don't know what else I'm going to do.
You know, there's the old saying, right? You don't retire from show business or from acting. They retire you, of course. You know, when they're done with you, whoever that is, you can't get gigs anymore. You stop. Myself, as much as I love acting, and I've been very lucky and have had pretty good success, I don't know if I want to go forever, because I don't want to continue to chase it.
Well, what are you going to do?
I hang out, I have a few drinks, I take a walk at the beach, see my kids, catch some movies, have a nice dinner. I get along great with my wife. I got good friends, go to lunch. I mean, I could stay occupied. I love the part of acting, the preparation, the work that puts in. I love all that part. The part I don't like is then you got to go sit in a room again. Even whatever you've done, you got to go sit in that room again with people that don't have a tenth of the credits that you have, but you got to go audition for some little role. And that's not the part that I want to do anymore. That's the part that I don't like. You know, I'm fine. So when they're done with me, I'll be done with them. Like, kind of, all right.
I don't know. I got to keep going somehow. I mean, I'll do theater. I'll do whatever. I mean, I'm eligible next year to take my pension. But I guess the good thing with SAG pension, you could start your pension, then when you work, you don't collect it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then at some point, whatever money's in the pot, they restart the whole thing again. So you're okay with that. But I'm just saying, I love the work of it. I actually do. I love it when things are good and you're working with people you like and everything's great. But then, then you get a call and you got to go. They want you to read for 4 lines. And Come on, man. I do what I do. I don't do everything. So that's the part where a regular guy who worked at the post office or a regular guy who had a city job at 65, he's got his pension, he's done, sits on the porch in a rocking chair. That's not so bad. I don't think that's so bad.
Laura's going to be okay with you hanging around the house all the time? She's okay with that?
Well, I guess so. She ain't gonna have no choice.
She may say, "You really don't want to go back to work, Steve." No,
But listen, I've written the books. I've done stuff. If something gets my interest, possibly, or if somebody offers me a role in something good, I'm not going to start doing these backyard movies that I don't enjoy. I'm not going to enjoy that. So, at least you get to a point where if I enjoy it, I'm going to do it. I don't have to do anything anymore. That's a good point to be in life. I'm 62. Yeah.
Well, that's a different story.
I'm old.
You do what you want. Look at Dominic. He's still working. How old is Dominic?
89. He's a very young 89.
A young 89, got all his marbles, sharp as a tack. I did a movie a couple of years ago, Christopher Plummer. He must be close to the same age. That guy's sharp as, as sharp as Dominic. I mean, these guys are,
listen,
they haven't lost a step.
And listen, Vinny Pastore, 74. He's sharp as can be, Vinny. He's very very spry, very sharp.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what's going on. That's how I feel. Good question. I don't know where Kyle, Texas is. Do you?
I don't know.
I think he's going to be the only guy in Kyle with a pair of Bose headphones. Hopefully we could change that.
We'll start something over there.
All right. So thanks for listening. And remember, new episodes are released every Monday. Please subscribe to the Talking Sopranos podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook. And please subscribe on YouTube and all these things. Subscribe. It's good for us. It's good for you. And please do that.
Our executive producers, Jeff Sussman. Producers, Andy Verderam. Our theme music was composed and performed by Elijah Amerton. You could hear more of Elijah's music as well as music Elijah and I have done together to our band Zopa by clicking the links on TalkingSopranos.com. We have a record out on Bandcamp. You should check it out. Our production crew includes Eric Desi, Bobby Hutch, Frank McKay, Ty Verderam, and Sierra Schirripa. Talking Sopranos is a Pod Jams production.
I saw Ty Verderam for the first time. I didn't know he really existed.
He exists.
He exists. I actually saw him. I thought he was kind of like a magical figure. So Welcome. Pleasure to meet you, Ty Verderam. That was a good one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Peace.
See you next week.